Dith da, mitin da, dohadith da, po grothuha da. Heddiw, ni ra mirrors orth Treylyansow kessonen. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Today we will look at consonant mutations. Consonant mutation is a feature of all Celtic languages. If you've never heard of it, it's the change of the first consonant of a word after another word that triggers it. You might have heard it in phrases such as the Gurno, meaning to Cornwall, or O Herno, meaning my Cornwall. There are rules of mutations which can be learnt, and I'll go through them all in this episode with examples. There are different orders of mutation: first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. First mutation might be a misleading term because it actually means unmutated, so the consonant doesn't change. Second mutation is also known as soft mutation because the sounds of the consonants soften. The third mutation is also known as the aspirated mutation because it applies to aspirate consonants. The fourth mutation is known as the hard mutation because the consonants harden. The fifth mutation is the mixed mutation and also has a special variation. The second mutation is the most annoying because it occurs after many words and has more rules associated with it than the other mutations. It's imposed on any word that follows these words: the particles a, na, ni, re, inan, the numbers do or diw, meal, the adjectives tha, I, when it means his, per, re, when it means to, the prepositions del, the, dre, war, indan, and the conjunctions fatel, na, when it means nor, and pan, which means when. This also applies to contractions which end in these words. This includes a, when it means of or from his, the, when it means to his, he, when it means and his, ne, when it means nor his, and re, when it means by his. There are more rules for words following an, and anketh. If a noun is feminine singular, masculine plural denoting people, or a dual noun like doulagus, which means eyes, it softens. When I say soften, I mean it mutates to the soft mutation. These types of nouns also soften the first following adjective, whether the noun itself has been softened or not. Nouns that follow do or dew, which both mean to, are softened, and the first following adjective is also softened. These rules also apply to contracted words that end with an. These include an, meaning of or from the, then, to the, han, and the, nan, nor the, rain, by the, and in, meaning in the. The rules for the second mutation are: B and M soften to V, CH softens to J, D softens to DH, G vanishes unless it's followed by O, U, RO, or RU, in which case it softens to W. K softens to G, P softens to B, and T softens to D. K, P, and T don't soften after words ending with S or TH. Now I'll talk through some examples. Mira mos the gesken. I am going to his gig. From the verb gul in the form gra and kesken. Niawel eskizio re weli. We see shoes by his bed. From the verb gweles in the form gwel and gweli, meaning bed. Na ilith, you cannot. This is used when answering in English and the phrase would just be no. From the verb galos in the form gilith. You might think that it should be nag ilith, but when the original word begins with a consonant, na doesn't change even though the consonant disappears. Ni ilith ta or ni il ta. You cannot. This is as a standalone clause, not answering a question. Similarly, in this case, ni also does not become nins. Re thu you. It's too dark. From do, meaning dark or black. Do then a thuth the g. Two men came from his house. From den, meaning man, dos in the form thuth, and chi. Den stays in singular form even after plural numbers or quantities. Diw venin eth then disgweithians. Two women went to the show. From benin, meaning woman, which similarly stays in singular form. Disgweithians is not mutated because it is masculine singular after an. Millville, a million. Mil means 1,000, so this is 1,000 thousands, and the second mil is mutated by the first. Ima mil jek in fois. There are 1,000 cauldrons in the caves. From Czech, meaning cauldron. Ith essa tha gath rengador. Your cat was by the chair. From cath and cador. Per tha owi belwallach. His television was very good. From da and pelwallach. You'll notice that in this case the adjective comes before the verb and the noun comes afterwards. Per desik you, then enesik silan delgrisav. It is very hot at the Scillies, I believe. From tesik and the verb krisi in the form krisav. Miramos the Penzance. I'm going to Penzance. From Penzance. Iagirth Dres Andaris. They walk through the door. From Kurthers. Daris doesn't mutate because it is masculine singular after an. Fatel bonio hui del uskis. How do you run so fast? From Ponya. You, in this case, is plural or formal. Mana hap, na tha, na throg. Nothing happens, neither good nor bad. From da and drog. Pan dolo a ein cres. When taxes increase. From tolo. Ima vois warvre. There is a girl on a hill. From mois and bray. Ima tous in dan bons. There are men under a bridge. From pons. Ev adhuth in an bonya. He came running, or he came at a run. From ponya. Du lagasel. Brown eyes. From gel, meaning brown. Du dus ver. Two short men. From tus and bear. Un gcog. One house martin. From chicog. And keth this scovan vichen. The same small ears. From diuscovan and bichen. And keth jith. The same day. From dith. This is an exception because D mutates to J. This happens for dith and words beginning with dith. And G goth, the old house. From chi and koth. I'll go through the examples again at the end of the podcast if you get that far. The third mutation is imposed on any words that follow o when it means my, he when it means her, aga which means there, and tri or ter which both mean three. This also applies to am, meaning of or from my, them, to my, ham, and my, nam, nor my, rame, by my, im, in my, a, when it means of or from her, the, when it means to her and not to his, he, when it means and her and not and his, ne, when it means nor her, re, when it means by her, aga, which means of or from there, thaga, to there, haga, and there, naga, nor there, rega, by there, and iga, in there. The rules for the third mutation are: K is aspirated to H, P is aspirated to F, and T is aspirated to TH. Words starting with any other consonants don't suffer the third mutation. Here are some examples I made earlier. Bones o Herno, this is my Cornwall, from Cerno. Aga Fenno Bluth, Inswar and Keth Jith. Their birthdays are on the same day, from Pembluth and Dith. Bras Dres Echen, U he Thiller. Her mansion is huge, from Tiller, which is mansion and comes after the verb. Bras Dres Echen literally translates as big beyond type. Imater hath im fopti. There are 3 cats in my bakery, from cath and popti. Ith essens tree thas in hifara. There are 3 fathers in her group, from tas and para. The fourth mutation is imposed on words that follow the particle o, which can be put in front of a verb to make it the present participle, which is the same as putting ing at the end of a verb in English. Words meaning if cause a fourth mutation. These are ma or mara and a, only when it means if. It won't apply to Mars and Maris because words following these always begin with vowels. These are the rules for the fourth mutation. B hardens to P, D hardens to T, and G hardens to K. I'll go through some examples. Ith S of V o per he and cos. I'm shortening the speech. From berhe. Interestingly, lots of adjectives can have he, he, added to make a verb. In this case, ber means short. Ith sst o tos the druro. You were coming to Truro. From dos, which hardens, and truru, which softens. Mar calav mos then with tia il dos genev. If I can go to the museum, you can come with me. From galos, in the form galav, and gwithti, which means museum and is softened in this case. Tia il contains gil, softened, and genev means with me. Imonzi o pos heb tu, mara tega merith and policy. They are abstaining if you adopt the policy. From bos heb tu, which means abstain from a vote, and dega meris, which means adopt policy. Aquari hi arta, nins essov vi o queres. If she plays again, I'm not going to help. From guari and gueres. The fifth mutation occurs after the particle I, not to be confused with I meaning his. It also occurs after the adverbial particle in, which is like ly in English, which is not to be confused with in meaning in, may, kin, per, maga, play, and able, which means whence. Confusingly, there is a special version of the fifth mutation which only applies to words which come after apostrophe th. The rules for the normal fifth mutation are: B and M become F, D becomes T, and G becomes H, unless it's followed by O, U, RO, or RU, in which case it becomes HW. For the special version, B and M become V, and if G is followed by O, U, RO, or RU, it just becomes W with no H. Any mutations that would result in HL, HN, or HR don't happen. Here are some examples if you're still listening. E treheth ev, he arrives, from drehethers. Iman eglos me tich tu stianeth rein treth. There is a church which serves homeless people by the beach. From dichtia. Magata, as well, from da meaning good. Kin febion avatal, although boys fight, from mebion and batalias in the form batal. Mia aswon able hrug a the. I know whence heather comes. This can also be translated as I know where heather comes from. This is from grug and dos in the form de. Per rachas a neige, when witches fly, from grachas, meaning witches. Play for darth he, where does she surf? From Mordartha, in the form Mordarth. Ddiwch hui in where, yours sincerely or yours truly. In where means authentically, from gwir meaning authentic. Ddiwch is a contraction of the and hui and means for you in the formal or plural sense. And hui adds emphasis to this. So it literally means to you authentically. Ath tisgoth theth vis trus, from your shoulders to your toes. From dewscoth and bistrus. Glass ruth you o hentro hath walls. Purple are my nails and your hair. From kentro, which goes through the third mutation, and goals, which goes through the fourth mutation. You might expect R to be translated as ins, but U is used for plurals, unless referring to people. Nath vris, nath korf a il heathers. Neither your mind nor your body can manage. From bris, meaning mind. Korf is unmutated. Severs wraith war. Stand by your husband. From gor, meaning husband. Ima paisin ith vatras. There is a P in your mattress. From matras. That's all the examples, and I'll go through them all again. Here are the second mutation examples. Mira mors the gesken. I am going to his gig. Nia well escisio re welli. We see shoes by his bed. Na illith. You cannot, when answering a question, and the English would just be no. Ni illith ta, ni ill ta. You cannot, as a standalone clause. Re thu you. It's too dark. Do then a thuth the G. Two men came from his house. Du venin eth then disgweddians. Two women went to the show. Millville, a million. Ima mil jek in Fowis. There are 1,000 cauldrons in the caves. Ith essa thagath rein gador. Your cat was by the chair. Per tha o I belwallock. His television was very good. Per desig you then Silan del Crisav. It is very hot at the Scillies, I believe. Miramos the Benzance. I'm going to Penzance. Iagurth Dres Andaris. They walk through the door. Fatal bonio hui del uskis. How do you run so fast? Manahap, natha, nathrog. Nothing happens, neither good nor bad. Pandolo a incres, when taxes increase. Imavois war vrai. There is a girl on a hill. Imatus in dam bons. There are men under a bridge. Evadhuth in Anbonia. He came running, or he came at a run. Du lagus el. Brown eyes. Du dus ver. Two short men. Un gcog. One house martin. Anketh diuscovan vichen. The same small ears. Anketh jith. The same day. And G goth. The old house. Third mutation examples. Bones o herno. This is my Cornwall. Aga pheno bluth ins warenketh jith. Their birthdays are on the same day. Bras dres echen you he thiller. Her mansion is huge. Imater hath im fopti. There are 3 cats in my bakery. Ith essens 3 thas in he fara. There were 3 fathers in her group. Fourth mutation examples. Ith esophi o perhe and cos. I'm shortening the speech. Ith sst o tos the druro. You were coming to Truro. Markalav mos them withti, tia il dos genev. If I can go to the museum, you can come with me. Imonzi o pos hebtumara tegamerith and policy. They are abstaining if you adopt the policy. Aquari hi arta nins esovi aquares. If she plays again, I'm not going to help. Fifth mutation examples. Itraheth ev. He arrives. Iman eglos me tich tus dianeth rein treth. There is a church which serves homeless people by the beach. Magata, as well. Kin febion a vatal, although boys fight. Mia aswan ablue hrug a the. I know whence heather comes. Per hraches a neige, when witches fly. Play fordarth he. Where does she surf? Dhu hui in where. Yours sincerely, or yours truly. Ath tiu scoth theth vis trues, from your shoulders to your toes. Glasruth you o hentro hath walls. Purple are my nails and your hair. Nath vris nath korth a il heathus. Neither your mind nor your body can manage. Service wraith war. Stand by your husband. Imapesen ith vatras. There is a pea in your mattress. If you've come this far, congratulations, you've reached the end of the episode. Thank you for listening. If you're actually good at Cornish and want to correct me, feel free to comment on the transcript. I'm sure I've made a couple of mistakes somewhere. Until next time, Agus Gwellis.